They say ghosts don't haunt people. They haunt places. But what happens when the entire place itself disappears? A town once full of life, families, laughter, songs and dreams, suddenly gone. No war, no disaster, no warning, just silence. This isn't a movie. It's one of history's most chilling mysteries, a real town that vanished without a trace. Today we unravel the haunting story of Roanoke, known forever as the Lost Colony.
Every piece of technology hides a story of vision, rivalry, and forgotten battlefields. From ancient machines to world-changing inventions, every breakthrough has a past worth remembering. This is the technological past, where history and innovation collide, and the stories of yesterday shape the tech of tomorrow. Subscribe to the Technological Past, because here you'll uncover the hidden stories behind technology, history and innovation that shaped our world, and get a glimpse of the upcoming tech gadgets transforming the future.
The year was 1587. England stood on the edge of empire. The age of exploration was in full swing, and the promise of the new world burned in the hearts of kings, dreamers, and merchants. A man named John White, an artist and explorer, was chosen to lead a bold mission to build England's first permanent settlement in America. He set sail across the Atlantic with 115 settlers, men, women, and children. Among them were carpenters, farmers, and families seeking a new beginning. They dreamed of fertile land, freedom, and a future that would outshine the old world they had left behind. After weeks at sea, battered by storms and uncertainty, they arrived on Roanoke Island, just off what is now North Carolina. To them, it must have felt like stepping onto a blank page of history, a place untouched, waiting for their story to begin. They built homes from timber, planted crops, and established a fragile but hopeful community. The sound of hammers echoed through the trees. Children's laughter filled the air. For a moment, it seemed that Roanoke might become the first successful English colony in the New World. Then, a cry of joy, the birth of Virginia Dare, the first English child born on American soil. To the settlers, it was a sign of hope, a promise of new life and a new world. But beneath that optimism, cracks were beginning to form. The land was harsh. Food was scarce. The relationship with nearby native tribes grew uneasy. Misunderstandings turned into fear. The settlers knew they couldn't survive without help. So John White made a difficult decision. He would sail back to England for supplies. Leaving behind his family, his colony, and everything he had worked for, he promised to return quickly. But fate had other plans back in Europe. Chaos erupted. War broke out between England and Spain. The battle for empire had reached the seas. Every ship was needed to defend against the Spanish Armada. White begged for a vessel to return to his colony, but his pleas were denied. Weeks turned to months. Months turned to years. 3 long years later, in 1590, John White finally secured a ship and set sail across the Atlantic. The journey was long, dangerous, and filled with dread. What would he find when he reached the shores of Roanoke again? As his ship approached the island, something felt wrong. No smoke from cooking fires. No movement. Only the relentless cry of the wind and the crash of waves when he stepped onto the shore. His worst fears were confirmed. The colony was gone. Every house dismantled, every fence gone. Not a single soul remained. No bodies. No signs of struggle. No clues except one. On a wooden post, a single word was carved, CROATOAN. And nearby, on a tree, another partial carving, crow. John White's heart must have sunk. CROATOAN was the name of a nearby island, home to a friendly native tribe. Could his people have moved there? He wanted to search, but violent storms forced his ship to turn back. He never saw Roanoke again. The mystery began there, and it has never ended. Some historians believe the settlers did go to CROATOAN Island, blending into the local tribe to survive. There were later reports of fair-haired children among native communities, but no definitive proof was ever found. Others believed they were attacked, perhaps by hostile tribes or even Spanish soldiers moving north from Florida. But no remains, no weapons, no signs of battle have ever been discovered. Still others suggest something more mysterious, that disease, starvation, or even the wild itself consumed them. Some say the settlers tried to move inland and simply vanished into the dense wilderness. Then came the legends, whispers that the island was cursed, that the settlers disturbed something ancient, that the land itself wanted them gone. And strangely, the word CROATOAN began to appear again, centuries later, in the most unexpected places. In 1849, the writer Edgar Allan Poe was found delirious on the streets before his mysterious death, and some claimed the word CROATOAN was later found scrawled in his notebook. In 1888, a ship called the Carroll A. Deering was discovered adrift off the coast of North Carolina. Its crew vanished. On a wooden post inside, the same word, CROATOAN. In 1939, a man who mysteriously disappeared in North Carolina's woods left behind a journal. The final word written inside was, again, CROATOAN. Coincidence? Or a haunting pattern? Over the centuries, researchers have searched the sands of Roanoke Island with every tool imaginable: shovels, sonar, drones, even ground-penetrating radar. They found fragments, tools, pottery, shards of life, but never a definitive answer. Each discovery adds to the puzzle, yet none complete it. Some believe the settlers survived and were absorbed into native tribes, their English identity fading into legend. Others insist the colony met a violent end, erased, covered by centuries of silence. And then there are those who think something stranger happened, that the island's mystery is not just about human survival, but about the line between history and myth. Maybe it's not just a lost colony. Maybe it's a story about how time can erase even the strongest footprints. More than 400 years later, Roanoke remains a symbol of human hope, of mystery, and of how easily history can disappear when no one is watching. Even today, archaeologists continue to search. Every year, new fragments appear: a piece of English pottery, a rusted nail, a trace of fire. Clues that whisper, but never speak. The forest has reclaimed the land. The laughter of settlers has faded into the sound of waves. Yet the name still lingers: Roanoke, the town that vanished without a trace. And maybe that's what makes it so haunting, because in a world where we track every movement, record every heartbeat, and store every memory online, there's still a story that refuses to be found. Maybe the town didn't die. Maybe it simply became part of the earth, its people living on in the wind, soil, and the stories we tell around campfires. Roanoke isn't just a mystery. It's a reminder that some chapters of history will always stay hidden. And some ghosts don't haunt people, they haunt time itself.